Hello and welcome to another episode of the Give My Head podcast. Yes, this is episode 4 of our brand new podcast discussing art and culture and comedy in Northern Ireland. And Give My Head piece, as you know, long-running series. Myself, my good colleagues, Mr. Michael McDowell, Mr. Damon Quinn are with me today, and we've got a very special guest, ladies and gentlemen. We don't always talk about Give My Head piece, but we might this week because we have with us none other than Dympna herself, Ali Ford. Ali, welcome.
Thank you very much for having me, boys. It is lovely to be here.
Well, Give My Head piece is still going, by the way, and people stop me in the street and go, "What's that show you used to do?" It's still going, all right? Just to be absolutely clear, there's a Christmas special this year, and we're on tour next March, as usual.
And the lads are still funny.
The lads are still funny up to a point. And we have done, how many series have we done now, Michael?
16 or 17.
16 or 17. It started in 1996. There was 2 ceasefires and a wedding in 1995. And you joined us. When did you join us?
97.
Was that the second
98?
series? Was it the second series?
Yeah, so I played a camera woman in the first series, and with great Paddy Jenkins, who plays Pastor Begbie, of course. He was a Channel 4...
Oscar-winning actor?
Oscar-winning. He was like a Channel 4 producer, and I was his camera woman. And I just finished doing the penalty points ads with you, Damon.
That's where we met.
You. That is indeed. And then I did that little part. I was just starting out, because, of course, I'm a bit younger than you boys. So in 1996, I was still at university. But
were you still at uni?
Yeah, I was. I did my A-levels in 92.
Right.
Yeah.
Scary,
but, well, no, I'm still 50. Like, I'm not that young. But
that's young. That's young in our terms.
That is young.
I feel young. And then I played Shirley McCandless, who was the girlfriend or ex-girlfriend of Uncle Andy. And had a ball doing that. That was such good fun.
That was the one who was ripping him off?
Yes. So she was the 25-year-old, which I was at the time. And then she also came back as the 50-year-old, who then said that she'd had a kid and he was a priest. Oh. And Uncle Andy was, unbeknownst to him, he was father to a priest, and she was going to blackmail him.
Uncle Andy fathered a priest.
Yeah,
Did you hear the story afterwards?
Yes, I did.
This is absolutely true. We completely made this up about Uncle Andy having a son, a priest. And it was And then it was you, Damon, met somebody, it was an orange man from Portadown, bumped into us and said, "How did you know about that story about the orange man in Portadown? Whose son is a priest?" And we, what? It genuinely happened.
Art imitating life.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was great fun, and I got to be a nightclub singer and sing Memories. Do you remember?
Memories.
Yes.
Yeah. The corner of my mind.
Brilliant fun with good old Mr. Sharlow.
God rest him. Yes, I should say for the viewers, listeners, whatever. Yes, Martin Sharlow was the legendary director of Give My Head piece. And he'd worked on other stuff. He'd done like Blackadder and Only Fools and Horses.
He was amazing.
But he much preferred working with us because I remember like we got commissioned by the BBC to make Give My Head piece, and nobody really done a sitcom here before.
Yeah.
So I remember speaking to Ian Kennedy, who's a former, head of television, and he says, "Why don't you ring Martin Sharlow? I know him. I'll give you his number." So he's sitting in England somewhere, like or Chiswick was where he lived in London. He gets this call. This is back in the days, like when the Troubles are still around.
Yes.
And he gets this call, from
Belfast.
We're the home of all gang. We've got commission for a sitcom. We want you to direct it. He couldn't say no. And then after that, it was like being in the eye. He was never out.
Yeah, he was never allowed to leave.
Once he was in, he was not allowed to leave.
Yeah. I'll say something though, as a young actress starting out, he was he was a real good supporter, and he was so kind to me. I'll never forget it.
He set the tone for the series.
It was brilliant.
Because we'd never done a sitcom in front of us. Nobody in Northern Ireland had done a studio.
Martin Sharlow. We should have a wee...
Yeah, absolutely. And he was very old school, shall we say. Martin liked a small mineral while he was working. bottle of wine on the...
Hang on, he waited till 12. He waited till noon, and then he opened
And then there was the can opening.
Oh, very 1970s vibe off it.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
But he did. I
amazing.
mean, he set the standard, and he kicked our arses, and he was very, very supportive, and very good. And nobody
was
had ever done.
brilliant.
BBC Northern Ireland hadn't done. It was a big risk for them. I mean, two
Huge.
ceasefires and a wedding had done very well, but we hadn't done a studio sitcom. We hadn't done it in front of 6 cameras in front of a live audience and stuff. And he had all that experience and kind of. So it was. I mean, it was groundbreaking at the time.
It was fantastic.
Yeah, it was. I mean, because like me and Jim Cray, our DOP, we went when Martin passed away. We went to his funeral, but as he'd retired and was living in
Yeah.
Spain. So he had his the whole funeral was in Mijas, and there was like different people who had come over, to relatives and stuff. But his 2 daughters, they did a sort of a double act. They did the speech
Right.
about Martin and his work, and it was all Give My Head Peace.
Yeah.
They never mentioned Only Fools and Horses. Never mentioned Blackadder. It was all Give My Head Peace. So I mean,
I'm not
there it
surprised
was,
though,
you know.
because he really gave his heart to us. He was amazing.
yeah.
He loved it here.
He did.
it.
He did.
Yeah.
He really embraced it all.
For an Englishman, he got it too.
yeah, for a flipping Englishman.
Yeah, an
I mean, it was
Englishman.
bad enough for me as a wee prod coming in with like very little knowledge
Are you a
of.
prod?
I know this
How
will
did you
come
get
as a shock
cast?
to you, Mr. McGarry.
How did that happen?
But
Sure,
truly,
he's one as well.
What?
Everywhere, Tim.
What?
But it just means as somebody coming in who had very little political knowledge, I have you 3 to thank for.
Yeah, there
For
are some
bringing me
jokes
up.
you went,
Yeah.
what does this mean?
Oh,
Why is this
gee,
funny?
I'll never forget that invitation. The invitation to Cal's wedding, and it was like I can't remember. No Castle Catholics and no this, no
Brits,
that.
no British licks,
yeah.
no touts. No,
I'm like,
no
Tim, can you sit
NLA,
down
no
and tell me what all
RSP.
these things mean? Hadn't a bloody clue.
Yeah. But I mean, you've been with us now a long
time.
And I was thinking the other day, God, Olivia Nash,
Yes,
my
yes.
82, we still have her working.
Amazing.
And sometimes I feel guilty about the humiliation we've done and the things we've done to that poor woman.
You have done a lot
And
of bad
we've
stuff
done
to
a
her.
lot of bad stuff to that. Well, we've done a lot of bad stuff to you as well, haven't we?
Yeah, I don't think you've been as bad to me as you have to her, to be fair.
No?
I think partly, though, I am longer of limb than Olivia.
Right.
So there's a lot more
call Olivia
awkward
Nash a short
positions. Would I? But there's a lot more situations. You've had me now squished into the back of Fiat Uno
Oh, we did
in
that.
Spain. That was
I had to
really...
drive that Fiat Uno,
I
excuse
remember
me.
it as a banana.
It's a banana. No brakes working. The brake.
No. So you've done a few things like that where I've been squashed into compromising positions.
Yeah.
But you haven't been that bad to me.
Well, they've humiliated me on several occasions. As well. One of the worst is, remember, me and Olivia had to recreate, what do you call it, From Here to Eternity.
Oh,
Oh,
Scene it.
yes.
Scene
The
on a
slow-mo
beach,
across
me
the
and
beach.
Olivia Nash. And originally, well, the idea was that I was with these rather gorgeous young actress. And then Ma turns up and goes, what the hell is this? So I recreate the scene with her, right? So we're on the beach, and Olivia didn't realise she was actually had to lie on the beach
I had to
with the
tell her.
waves.
And she says, "Yeah, well, yeah, I've got the script." I said, "Yeah." And she went, I said, "Yeah, but where are we doing it?" And I said, "In the beach, in the sea." And she went, "No." So no, you're in the beach, in the sea, in a
Sorry.
bikini. Yeah.
I'll tell you worse than that. Like, I mean, you say we've done bad things to her, we actually saved her. Was when we were making the Paris special.
Yes.
Remember the McGlinchey Code?
Yes.
And Olivia, this is the sort of professional. This is the professional that she is. Like, I went up there and says, "Now look, there's a bit where she's supposed to fall off a boat
Yes.
into the Seine."
Seine, yeah.
And of course, she doesn't. We said, "There's the boat there," and we have a crash mat. And she's going to go onto the crash mat, and then you throw a bucket of water up in the air, and it looks as if she's falling into
Yeah,
into the Seine. Of course, I didn't tell Olivia this. I said, "Olivia, look, you're going to have to go into the water, and you can't swim, can't you?" There's going to be frogmen out there. I see there and there frogmen, right? So you get into any trouble at all, they'll get in. There's a guy in a motorboat round the corner. You can't see him. He'll come in and he'll get you. But you need to go into the water, okay? And you need to swim a bit.
You wound her up.
And she actually said, "Okay."
Oh, you are bad to her.
Of course, then I told her the truth, but I actually saved her because I mean, you seen that in the Olympics, when they were swimming in the Seine,
right, the guy-
and the guys were half
high
dead
jumper,
coming out of
yeah.
coming out of the Seine. We did the thing with the bucket of water, she goes off the end of the boat, lands on the crash mat, somebody throws a bucket of water in there, and then we have to soak her because in the next scene she's got to be dripping.
Yeah.
And I caught the design guy going down with a bucket to lift the water out of the Seine. I said, "What are you doing?" He goes, "Going to pour Seine water." I said, "Go over to a bar there and I'll give you a bucket of water." You know?
So
I did save her.
On the Here to Eternity bit, we're on the beach, right? I have to run up the beach towards Olivia. It's quite funny because I have, in those days, moves. I'm running up the beach. You know, okay, that's funny enough. What does he do when he gets into the edit, right? He slow-mo's it. He slow-mo's it. So it's sad to say it is one of the funniest things you'll ever say.
Yeah.
But in this business, you just go, just
Well,
go,
if you
take
don't
the
laugh at
humiliation.
yourself,
Take the
Tim.
humiliation. Just go with it. Go with it.
Do you remember being offered the part of Dympna?
I do. I remember you and Mr. Sharlow asking me what I was doing for the next year of my life. And I was at that point, you know, a wee job an actor, just going from wee bit of this to a wee bit of that, and going like, a year? What, a year? Like, it was insane.
And you made the front page of the Telegraph.
Yes, I remember us making the front. In fact, we were outside Watts Madison's, it's not called that now, that lovely
house.
hotel, on Botanic. And I remember I remember us getting ready and like choosing Claire Magerlane, choosing the outfit and like feeling really awkward and just kind of overwhelmed
But
by it
you
all.
kind of redesigned Dympna, really, though, didn't you? I mean,
Well, I did to a degree, but Valerie Butler she was our hair and makeup girl. And I remember us talking about, you know, we make her redhead. And she's like, no, she's a blonde. She's definitely a blonde. And I was like, yeah, I think she is. And that whole tart with a heart kind of thing. And we took inspiration from Aveline, from Bread, that kind of always... More is more. You know, Coco Chanel famously said, like, take one thing off when you leave the house. Well, Dympna's mantra is add about 10 more.
See, I think I've told you before, like, I would run away with Ali
Yes.
Ford, and I would run from Dympna.
Yeah, she is a bit scary.
I'd jump out a window to save myself.
I know, run. But I also remember, you know, when she was doing the makeup, which is kind of a bit back in now, you know, that like at the time you couldn't get like a chocolate brown lip liner, you could only get like a deep pink. So she used an eyebrow pencil and used it as a lip liner. And then whenever I was kissing you, do you remember?
Yes.
All this brown was all over your face. Because it wasn't fit for purpose.
The cheek that complained.
I
Oh, that's why
know.
was that makeup on you? I was kissing her. You put the makeup on her.
Oh, it was funny when you think back. But yeah, and the first episode was such a fun one to do. I haven't actually ever seen that back again.
Have you not?
No, I haven't, and I would love to because it's a little bit Casablanca. There's the bit where it's like the
Oh, yeah.
Titanic, where we're
That's right, we did
on
do
the
that.
flying and all that. Such fun.
That's the bit where, Nuala McKeever left the show
Yeah.
and we then became, because Nuala was married to Billy the Peeler and
Still one of the best jokes you've ever written is the Billy and Emer up on the Cave Hill. Have you got protection? You put on your riot gear.
You put on a flak jacket.
But yes, that was whenever Dympna arrived over from England and Billy was distraught because Emer had left him.
Right.
And do you think, does the wig save you from getting
Oh,
recognised?
huge. Yeah, I think it does. Although it's weird, as I've got older, I think... I mean, obviously, you guys know I do a lot of voiceover work. So people, I think, first of all, it's whenever I speak and they sort of look at me and then they go, oh, I know who you are. But I think it's funny, with us being back on the telly over the last few years, I think you get recognised a lot more again than you do whenever we're sort of just doing the stage shows. But it's nice. I mean, it's lucky. I always think, like, thank goodness people like Give Me a Headpiece, because imagine, like, they're always quite complimentary and are, you know, enthusiastic
get
and
any
want
abuse?
a selfie. No, thankfully
So it
not.
must be
No.
me then, gets it all.
Yeah. Well, that's because you're so horrible to
Yeah, well,
Ma. If you
that
weren't
is
that
true.
nasty to her, they'd like
true.
you a lot more.
And was it a stretch for you, a good Protestant girl from Antrim, to do a play?
Oh, huge
a
stretch.
Catholic girl from
Oh,
Divis?
gosh.
it's-
I mean, you can imagine. It's definitely been, I mean, it's hard to believe it's been so long. And I look back to that wee kid of like 24, 25 and think, flip.
Yeah.
It is
I
mad.
like watching the earlier ones. You know.
Yeah, well,
I don't
that's
like
only because
watching-
we all look much
Exactly.
better and young.
I like watching the earlier ones.
We're all, well, more taut of skin and more hair and less wrinkles.
Poor wee Olivia Nash, God, like 82, and we still
I
have her
know.
working.
She's
still on
amazing.
tour.
I have to say, though, like, Livy she's one of the best constitutions I've ever come across. Like, she is like a little powerhouse, that woman. And amazing, relentless energy.
We could say it publicly, you're so good to your own tour. You share a dressing room with her and you look after her and all of that. But we all try to look after her, but you kind of have the
I was going to
woman's-
say, though, there is no looking after. Livy has, well, you go right back to those early days, and Livy had cooked me completely under her wing back then.
Yeah.
So what goes around comes around. And, you know, I think back to those early days. So she asked me if I wanted to come and share a dressing room with her. I was like, yeah. So we're in the dressing room together, and you do your set out. So you set out like your makeup and all your wee bits and pieces, and she sets ours all out, and we're chatting away. And I noticed this wee miniature bottle of Smirnoff on her desk, and I'm like going, I wonder, is she a wee bit of a, a wee problem, or like, why is she sitting there with the wee mini of Smirnoff? So anyway, we were going on, and I noticed before every performance or before anything that we do, she's like a wee swig of the Smirnoff. And I eventually get the courage up to go, Olivia, why do you have a wee bottle of Smirnoff? Like, do you need that just as a wee bit of courage? She goes, oh, love, it's holy water.
Holy water!
If you'd come into my dressing room, you'd have seen a big bottle.
Yeah, that wouldn't have taken me by surprise, though, for you. But Olivia would never take a drop before she did a performance. But obviously, I was like, I'd have pegged as an alcoholic.
Just to be clear, Olivia Nash is not an alcoholic.
No, she's definitely
it's
not.
drugs. It's coke. It's ketamine.
But
it's
if that's what it mean, a wee prod, I had no idea of the power of holy water. I was like, you need to get me some.
yeah.
And that's what it was.
Yeah. And to this day, she still, although she's got now a lovely proper bottle from Lourdes, so it's all good. Yes,
Like
a fancy bottle.
But she
from
is
Lourdes.
amazing professional.
Oh, incredible. And I've
soon
learned
as the
so much
camera's
from
on
her.
her.
Oh, flip, she switches it on. But even
it.
now, I love to stand at the side of the stage. Like, you boys are mostly on stage with her, but like, don't we? We stand at the side of the stage and you watch her, and the audience are eating out the palm of her hand. her timing is impeccable.
But I always try and
She's
put her off.
amazing.
She has the first line. If she's about to go on, I like it when she's the first line in the show, because I always go right up there before she goes on stage and go, oh, Olivia, oh, look, there's near 1,000 out there. I wouldn't want me getting out there first. Like, oh, Olivia, oh, my God.
I know, and do you remember? So I remember one year she was like opening, with like a monologue. She was praying, and you tortured her beforehand. You're like, oh, geez, Olivia, oh, you've got to. And she's like, Damon. So funny. Oh no, but she's incredible, absolutely incredible.
She hates the lists we give her. Remember the
Yes,
lists?
she does.
She hates the
Although
lists.
I identify with that. Like back to, you're talking about the we were talking about the invitation to the wedding, which was a big long list. And we arrive on set and the audience are in and everybody, and the late, great BJ Hogg and Marty, who plays Uncle Andy, are sitting there. So there's Big Mervyn and Marty there on the set. And I come down with the list and I have to read the list. And BJ hands me the card and it just says, got you, love.
Brilliant.
Here's the DJ.
Yeah.
So I had no list to read.
Typical, yeah.
Yeah.
And Olivia Nash, God love it. We have done awful things to her. She had a bird phobia, which we didn't realise.
Oh
and
my goodness, those
we put her in a
turkeys.
room with 30 turkeys, and she had a proper phobia of
I know.
30 live turkeys.
35 live turkeys.
I know. I'll never forget
We
that.
stretched her on a.
You stretched her on a rack.
On a rack.
That was actually quite painful.
Yeah.
That was actually quite
that
sore.
right?
Oh, you nearly drowned her in Rome.
We
Do you
did.
remember the
In the
big,
fountain?
in the fountain? Do
right.
you remember? She
Yeah.
kind of, it was Shane Bunting managed to rescue her. She kind of slooped under because she's that way, and it was quite slippy and seedy and.
So we're doing the Dolce Vita.
That's right.
Yes,
We
yes.
recruited Marilyn Monroe with her
Yes.
as well. Yeah.
Oh, yes. Oh, she looked fabulous as Marilyn Monroe. She loved that.
Yeah.
Oh, and do you remember the dishy?
Oh, well, we did. We
Signor
give her.
Vincenzi,
We gave her a hunky
give her a
cardinal.
boyfriend.
Yeah,
That's
he
right.
was fabulous. My real father.
Your real
Yes,
father,
that's
yeah.
right.
Or is it Jerry Adams? Who knows?
Oh, I forgot about that one.
He did thank us for the cardinal.
Yes. He was gorgeous.
I think that, yes, all the girls liked him.
Yeah, definitely. I know, and then Billy, you ran off with the sexy Spanish senorita on me.
That's right.
Yeah, we
Haven't got you back for that one
No,
yet.
you haven't actually yet.
Have you forgiven us yet
For what?
for going to New York and not bringing you? to
No,
New-
never, and you never will be
In the
forgiven.
year
That's
2000,
it.
we got an
Yes.
episode and went to New York. And the
sods
producer, as
left
in the
us
producer,
behind.
left
Me and
Alan
Olivia
Ford and Olivia
behind.
behind. Can you explain
Why you did that?
Damon, because it's not very fair. These superb actors.
It was kind of Schindler's List in reverse. If you didn't get on the list, you didn't get to go.
How come I wasn't on the list?
Oh, it was plot driven, you know. It was I owe you a trip to New York.
You definitely do. I mean, surely Dympna could go like on a Dollyland pilgrimage or something for fun.
Well, we definitely owe you a trip to New York.
We did bring you to
for sure.
Paris, and we brought
You
you
did.
to. Where else
Although
was it?
Paris was different because Paris, I had a very tiny baby with me. So I think really we need to go back to Paris
Right.
to experience the full
We
fun
brought you to
of-
Rome.
Oh, well,
We
Rome
brought
was
you to
awesome.
Dublin.
Yeah.
Where else did we go?
Well, sure, just keep
Spain.
going. Yeah, we went to Memphis and we didn't bring them, so you can bring that one up as
You
well.
didn't do that one either.
Yeah, I didn't go that one.
You
Spain.
too. Yeah, Spain. Spain was awesome, wasn't it?
Yeah, Spain was crack.
That was great. That was in the days the BBC had money and gave us it.
Oh, it was amazing.
Now they've given it all to Stephen Nolan. We've none left. There's none left. There
So we
isn't a
don't get
penny
any. Yeah, but I think Rome was maybe my favourite. Rome was incredible.
Yeah, it was brilliant. Great
Yeah.
city. Great city.
Yes, Marty Reid is the Pope.
left. Marty Reid is the Pope on a scooter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great days. That was in our professionalism came out. You know, we've working with us.
Yes.
Be honest.
Yes.
Had some moments that are less professional than
Well,
others.
how
Can we
much
go
am
back
I
to a
allowed
show-
to reveal
Well,
whenever
go
we're
back to a
talking
show
about
in
this?
Derry
Yes.
where we're
Derry.
about to go on stage
Yes.
in Derry, and you said to me, "I'm not going on stage with a certain actor on the grounds, simply on the
That they are
grounds that he was paralytic,
Or blocked.
blocked, absolutely, and stocious drunk."
Well, you see, think of it. I was only a young actress, fresh from RADA and university and, you know, a world of
went to RADA,
professionalism.
cool.
I did a short course in RADA. World of professionalism. And we pick up Damon, Michael and I, he is poured into the car.
And I said, look, give him 2 hours, he'd be better
He'll be
when he wakes
fine.
up.
He'll sober up. And I'm like, okay. So Michael and I arrive and we pour him out of the car.
It's actually worse.
And it is worse.
He is
He's
worse.
drunker by the time
Yes,
we get
he
there.
is.
And I'd have thought after we snooze on the road on the Glenshane Pass, he would have been better. But he
you just sit in
wasn't.
the back all squeezed
Yes.
up and his seat right back.
So we're in the Rialto playing to about 800 people in the Rialto.
Yeah. So I'm on stage. I do eventually go on stage.
There's a
In fact,
TV
we had a
com-
TV crew as
There's
well.
a TV crew interviewing us and
That's
stuff,
right.
and it was keeping away from Damon.
Yeah,
They wanted
yeah.
to interview Damon. We said, no,
Like,
Damon's,
no.
Damon's on it. He's doing his voice exercises. Sober up, yep.
So we're in there doing that, and then we go on stage. And being on stage with Damon is like Damon's in Australia and I'm in Derry. So there's like this sound delay. So he is, to your credit, you are word perfect. But it's just, you know the way they say you could drive a horse and cart between cues? Well, flip me, you could drive about 50 gliders between these two. It was like a satellite link up.
Well, I had been to lunch with the legendary Martin Sharlow.
Oh, well, that explains
Well, that's
everything.
it then, that's okay.
Several bottles of wine later.
Yeah.
Yeah, he liked a long lunch, didn't he, Martin?
Oh, he
Yeah.
was fond of a long lunch.
We kept delaying the start to get you sober and kept throwing coffee at you and stuff. And then about 20 minutes, the guys said, no, you have to get on, you have to get on. And then Damon woke up and went, I need a glass. I can't go on with a glass. It was
That's
a prop.
right.
And I was going, Damon, like, just get on. And I just said, go and get me a glass, yakka.
Oh, dear.
Well, cheers. We'll make clear this is water.
Yeah.
Thankfully,
Yeah.
those days are gone, and we're totally
Oh, they were
professional.
fun though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
but
Well, we did do it. We did do it.
We did
Marty
do
McCann in earlier.
I'd forgotten. We very briefly for a podcast forgot to mention the story. But we were we went for a meal in a Lebanese restaurant. We had about a bottle of wine between us. This is in the interval, right?
Opera House.
And the opera
Yes.
house.
We're all in the Opera
So
House.
we go right across. We got one time for one in the Crown, surely. So walk into the Crown, and who should be in the Crown but Marty McCann and Brendan Fraser? And so we get talking to him, and they say, "Oh, we'll get you pints, guys." And
We start talking about the mummy films and all that stuff.
of course,
Great,
having
right?
a great old time.
I have a great.
I'm presumably on stage doing the
I was
stand-up.
thinking
We're
that.
working at this
No.
stage.
There's a big gap interval. We're not on for about 3 hours, and then basically.
All right, between the shows
Between
you're
the
in,
shows, so we drink. So we have about 3 or 4 more pints, and we're going. That's okay. And then we sort of go and go. I have to go now, Marty. I have to go. And he says, "Where are you going?" He goes, "We're on stage." He just started
Was
laughing.
he horrified?
He was laughing.
Brendan Fraser couldn't believe it.
These idiots.
Oh God.
For the avoidance of doubt, our shows are no longer drink soaked.
No,
we
they're not actually.
we are
No, they're
mainly
very-
sober for most
They're
of
very
them.
boring now, yeah.
So
No,
it's
brilliant,
all-
very entertaining.
It's all cups of tea now, isn't it? And
Yeah. Yeah.
we're very good now, and that's
Well, it was like whenever one night we were coming home from Derry and we were on the Glenshane Pass, and you know the Ponderosa, the last pub on there.
Yeah.
So we're all in the bus, and some of you boys decide you want a pee stop, so somebody goes into the toilet. And then they take a long time, so someone else goes in to see where they've got to. And then another one goes in to see where they've got to. So we're now in this bus like 40 minutes. Olivia and I look at each other and go, where the hell are they?
and of course, there's five
And of
lads.
course we go in and you're all propped up at the bar.
Yeah, that's why we stay over in Derry now.
Yeah, it's a much better idea. Much improved. Then I can have a wee drink with you too.
Yeah, we're in
Yes.
Derry this year, by the way, in March. I haven't got the exact dates, but you can get your tickets now in the Millennium Forum. We're in Derry for a couple of nights, so
Yes,
we're on
it'll be
tour
much fun.
again. Yeah, I still can't believe that we're getting away with this tour. We did a farewell tour about 12 years ago.
I remember it.
We did, that's right.
I have photographs of the
Farewell
farewell
tour, yeah, we did. And David Hull, our agent, said, "No, you're not going anywhere." To be fair, I think the theatres were going, "Listen, there's
Yeah.
still an audience out there," and bizarrely, there still is an
I
audience
know,
out
aren't
there.
we
I mean,
lucky?
it is fantastic. You kind of think, that's, but they keep turning up.
I know. I'm very grateful. Thank you guys for coming. Please come
Well,
again.
thank you. It's all down to me, as you know. the creative person behind it. Well, we were saying earlier, just before we started, who you think was behind the whole thing.
Oh, yes. I blame Damon Quinn for it all.
Yeah.
So Damon, I believe, coerced both of you into giving up your careers
Yes. I used
as
to do it.
lawyers
Yes, I blame him.
and barrister to come with him on this merry journey. And back, as I said, we did the penalty points ads all those years ago. I played Miss Mascara, and Damon Quinn said, "Oh, we're doing a sitcom. You should come and audition for it." And the next thing, here we are. I'm 50, and it's 25 years of
Here we are. But I
Working
that
with
penalty
you.
points ad
I know.
went on for years. I mean,
Oh, it did?
You kept getting a wee check for it, if you remember.
It was great. Did I tell you I crashed the car when we did it? Yeah.
He couldn't buck and drive.
I know.
He's-
Well, he did have a license, but he just couldn't drive.
I did the audition, right? And they phoned me up and said, "Oh, congratulations, you've got the part now. Just want to make it clear here, you do have a clean driving license." I said, "Oh, yes." Right? I didn't say, "I've got a clean driving license, but I've never driven." I just said, "Oh, yes." So the next week, I went out and with my sister, and we did a few practice.
Oh, did
you?
you?
Yeah, we did a few
Alright.
practice driving around where,
Yeah.
See the way he
gonna
did
film
that
it.
there? That's
Yeah,
just in
yeah,
case you didn't
yeah.
know what a car was.
yeah.
The man who's never driven one.
But of course, we gets to do the ad, but fortunately for me, it's an automatic car, so it's a big Jeep.
So you're fine.
It's an automatic, so I don't have to worry about gears or anything like
yeah.
that. But they've got a camera on the screen right in front of you where you're driving.
Oh, I remember it well.
There's a guy sitting beside you with the camera taking the side, and there's a guy in the back, the director in the back with the monitor, the monitor thing, checking that you're doing all the right things, which that's what they want.
Why you were Mr.
And
Mobile.
I was Mr. Mobile. I was on my
Yeah,
mobile.
that's right.
And I was going to get penalty points for being
Yeah.
on my mobile. But they had a police escort because they cleared the whole place. It was all down around it was down round.
Well, mine
yeah,
wasn't cleared, but yours was.
Yeah, this was cleared, and I had the guys in the you know the outriders, you know, and the motorcycles, and we did a few goes on it. And then the wee cop comes up in his he was a bit of a billy, you know.
Yeah.
He comes up in his motorbike and peers in the window and goes, "See that fella there? He's an effing brilliant actor. He's effing fantastic." And the guy goes, "How do you mean?" And he says, "There's penalty points at." He says, "He's got 22, and he hasn't even started. He got 22 points already."
Brilliant.
So and I got to a stage like where we did another run, and next thing the director just goes, "Stop! And the cameraman just jumps out of the car and he goes, "I'm not getting back in. I'm not getting back in. I'm not doing it." You know, absolutely not. What you have is what you're going to get.
That's it.
Yeah. So, yeah.
It's like
That
getting a lift from Jackie Hamilton. I would never get in the car with him ever again.
Oh, really? That bad?
Jackie Hamilton, who was the producer on Give My Headpiece for a while, and Blame Game and everything, is one of these drivers who does this.
Yeah, he
How you
talks
doing?
to you.
How you doing?
He's
Everything
very,
all right?
very
Yeah.
fast, but he talks to you
Does
because
that
he
thing,
feels he
yeah.
has to look at you while he's talking to you, and the
You're like,
road's
just
there.
look at the road, please.
So you're going up this corner. Yeah, how's it going? Do you like Derry? It's like, yeah. So,
The highlight of your career, though, was you worked with Sir Ben Kingsley, didn't you?
I did work with Ben Kingsley. He
What was that again,
Extremely nice. So we did this film, 50 Dead
Gandhi.
Men Walking. And he had what looked like a merkin on his head, but was actually, a toupee. So he had hair.
See, I didn't understand that. I mean, you go to all the trouble to get Ben Kingsley, right? You've got
I know,
Ben
then
Kingsley.
you disguise him.
And then you put a wig on him?
Yeah.
The whole point of having Sir
Is he
Ben
bald?
Kingsley.
I
Is
know.
he so baldy actor,
Oh, yes,
you know?
and you have to call him Sir Ben.
Oh, yeah, but there was
Yeah.
trouble about that.
Yeah, no, but what I was going to say
Yeah.
was he was extremely nice to me, so
Yeah.
he kept calling me Alexandra. And he wanted to know if I was of Russian descent.
Right.
So I had to say, no, I'm just Northern Ireland born
Antrim.
and bred. Yeah, a wee kid, a wee prod from Antrim. And he was extremely nice. So we're doing this bit where we have to run down a corridor, and he's this bit of palaver with the bin and so on, and he stops everything as only Sir Ben can, and he goes, "I think that I'm masking Alexandra here." And I'm thinking to myself, listen, love, nobody gives two hoots whether they can see me or not.
I'm not the star here.
But I did think, how generous. There's not many now would behave that
You had
way.
to call him Sir Bensley?
Well, there
Yeah,
was
you
trouble.
did. Sir Ben.
There was trouble about it because they were filming in the Short Strand.
Right.
And a lot of the crew, you know, were of a certain persuasion.
Right.
And they went, "Oh, well, you must address Sir Ben." And Sir Ben would go, "No, it's not happening. Nobody's saying it. It's not fucking happening. Not happening.
Benny.
Not going to happen." Right? So they didn't know what to say. Well, what are we going to call him? What are we going to call him? And somebody said, "How about Gandhi?"
So you work with Sir Ben Kingsley, but obviously
I
the
did.
highlight is Give Me
Well,
Headpiece.
naturally.
But you were a ballet dancer or something? That's
I
right?
was. Well, I trained
us
whenever
a
I was
turn there.
younger.
Can
We
you- can
pirouette
we clear
now.
this table
Excuse
and give-
me, you know, backstage I'm often to be found doing
Yes,
a wee
that's true,
pirouette or a handstand or a cartwheel.
Same as myself.
Yeah,
Exercises,
yeah.
you
Well,
know.
how,
I would love to see that.
yeah. So I did a lot of dance in my youth, but I haven't done it for a long time now.
Wrecks your toes, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
My
favourite
sister
group.
used to be good at cartwheels, but
Mm-hmm.
she did her last cartwheel. I think she was about 35. She did her last cartwheel, and she knew it was her last.
Oh.
She said she did her cartwheel. Went, I'll
That's
never
it.
do that again.
Never again.
But
Oh no,
You do
I'm
them all the
happy.
time.
I could cartwheel or heart. No, I'm fine. I'm so far so good. Pilates is to thank for it, boys. Highly
Pilates.
recommend. Yeah, Pilates keeps you nice and supple.
All right.
got all that
I'll
space
make
at
a
the
note.
back of the opera house.
Yeah.
Like you've
Oh,
got
it's
loads
just
of
like
space
an
to do your
invitation.
cartwheels. Like,
Yeah. But even now, there's that, there's the big kid in you comes out sometimes. Is when you enter like a church hall or the back of a theatre or something, there's all that space. It's like, woohoo, let's sprint and fill
Love
it.
the opera house. There's
Oh,
nothing
it's
better.
gorgeous, isn't it? One of the nicest places on
We're
earth.
talking about Pilates and cartwheels. I remember the days you used to be able to have a fag in the face. They're going,
Yeah.
Come on, how long did you go? Days are long gone, aren't they?
They aren't half. I know. Maybe I'll get to marry somebody on the stage of the Opera House.
Well.
I quite fancy that. Well, you know I've trained as a celebrant, so I'm a
Oh,
humanist
sorry, I thought you were...
celebrant now, yeah. No, I meant I could conduct.
Oh,
now
right,
that you
conduct
can
a
do.
marriage.
Yeah, I was
Right, you're
thinking
trained
that'd
as a
be nice.
celebrant.
Yeah,
That's
so I've
right.
been marrying people in my spare time.
How
at the
many have you done
moment.
so far?
I've only done, like 5 maybe, and I've done a few naming ceremonies and loving it. So I hope my dream, you see now, if anybody out there would like to get married by me and go to maybe get married in, the Mauritius or the Seychelles
You're happy to
You're prepared to travel?
or Memphis, since I didn't get to go there with you, or New York, I'm your woman.
So there you are. You want to get married by Ali Ford?
Yeah, well, there you go. Well, we're hoping for sponsors by Guinness, but we're happy. we're working your business
Absolutely.
first.
Well, somebody did say to me, would you marry me as Dympna?
Really?
No, seriously. I was like, no, sorry, not doing that.
Oh, go on. That'd be brilliant.
Can you imagine me appearing in the wig and all? Right, love. Yeah.
I do get asked
quite
to tell
funny.
jokes at a lot of, especially mixed marriage weddings.
Yes.
They have to get dad down to tell jokes.
tell a few
at their,
jokes.
But
that'd be good fun.
because we bring the people together. You see,
Bring
we
the
give the
people
gift of
together.
character,
I know,
the gift
harmony.
of laughter. That's
I
what it is.
know.
I mean, would it be too far to say that we brought peace to Northern Ireland?
No, it wouldn't. I don't think it would. I mean, a Nobel Prize wouldn't be.
you know
overlooked. Overlooked.
I know you're joking, but the amount of people who've said to me, how influential Give My Headpiece has been in their personal lives. I'm sure you get these anecdotes all the time and, paving way between mixed marriages and relationships and all that. It's incredible, actually. It's quite a privilege to have been part of it.
Well, there was a very senior Republican.
Who shall remain nameless?
Jim Dawson said, I don't know what you lads have done, but I don't like it. I said, what do you mean? He said, we're watching Give My Headpiece one time, and Red Hand Luke
Yes.
was going to kill Uncle Andy, right? And his young son
Yes.
fell asleep in the middle of the episode, and Red Hand Luke was about to kill Uncle Andy, and he woke up the next day and said, Daddy, is Uncle Andy okay? Is Uncle Andy okay? He says, my Republican, my son's worried about this loyalist bigot. Was he all right? I said, yeah, he's all right, son. What the But I love the story about the Brits you met. Now, I didn't meet them. The Brits you met in a bar in Belgium. Do you remember that?
Brussels.
Brussels.
That's right. And
You
we were,
must-
what they did was we were sitting in Brussels in a terrible bar, it's really rubbish, and it was about 1 o'clock, and we were trying to find anywhere to give us a drink. It was Brussels is crap for late night drink, really crap,
really?
Handy
rubbish.
hint there, folks.
Yeah, just let you know. And we were
Life
sitting there,
hack.
and these life hack, and these two Brits came in, or we didn't know that, but obviously they came over and said, you're Give My Headpiece, and I go, it's English, you're Give My Headpiece, Give My Headpiece, and they said, how do you know that? And they said they were in the army, and they used to play the tapes as a training course. They would say they play the tapes to say, you want to understand what's going on in Ireland? Watch this show.
Yeah.
And they make
It's
them
like,
watch about 3 episodes.
Yes.
Potted history.
This is what they're like.
Yeah.
And the judge was sent a tape to Senator Mitchell.
What?
They
Oh,
did
wow.
not.
George Mitchell, yeah, we sent a tape to George Mitchell and got a reply.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he enjoyed it,
Yeah.
yeah.
George Mitchell, who
Yeah,
architected the
brokered
Good
peace.
Friday Agreement.
Yes.
That's all I'm saying. It's John Hume and David Trimble should have been
What did they do? Nothing.
We made George Mitchell laugh.
That's a good one.
Yeah. But and after how many years? 26 years are we going now? I can't-
26,
Oh, it's
27.
too long, boys. It's flipping lifetime. It's crazy.
Yeah, I haven't
Aren't we
missed.
lucky?
We are lucky, and Olivia Nash hasn't missed a single episode. It's been
Never.
every single episode.
I know.
All right.
Yeah, Olivia's one of the few who haven't been in every single episode. Not many. Jim Craig, cameraman, in every single episode.
Yes,
done
I
every
think so,
single
yes.
episode?
Yes, there's very few.
Yeah.
There's very few.
I can't even remember how many we've done. Is it?
Now I've lost track now.
So
Because
100?
I remember it being 70s.
It could be near. It could be near.
Could be near.
Right.
But the frightening bit now is like all these young cuffers coming up to you who look far too young, who were probably only born whenever we were, or not even born whenever we started. And they've rediscovered it all on YouTube and are like quoting bits back to you from stuff that
You go, what?
you'd even forgotten that you did. You're like, what?
No, it is interesting because fewer people are watching TV these days,
Of
but
course.
there's a lot more on like
Yeah.
BBC iPlayer. There's
Yeah.
4 episodes of Give Me a Headpiece on now, and people do watch it on.
Oh,
I know
yeah.
Christmas episodes in the middle of July or whatever.
Yeah.
But the BBC to get all those figures, we get quite a young audience.
Yeah.
We get quite a young audience, and you go, really? I thought it was our little fellas who remember the Troubles, but it's not. It's quite a wide audience, which is nice. You know?
It is. It's lovely. It's lovely. It sort of just makes me feel mega old.
Though it does, yeah, you do when your kids go, or somebody in their 40s go, I watched that when I was a kid. Go,
Like,
you're
what?
I'm 40
Yeah.
now. Go,
It is, but it's. I mean, there is something as well. I think back whenever you were on, when everybody did watch terrestrial TV, and we were on in everybody's living room every Friday.
Yeah.
There is a, I don't know, a bond I think that people have with you in that way, that you've been part of their growing up. It's kind of lovely.
Yeah, the show that mummy, daddy, kids and granny would all sort of
Totally.
watch on it.
Like the kids, people would go, used to go upstairs and have my bath, and I'd come down. You can just picture the scene, all scrubbed clean, their wee jammies waiting for bed, and then they were allowed to stay up and watch Give Me Headpiece.
and the bad language and all of that. Yeah.
I don't think we'd that much bad language then, did
Oh,
we?
we fucking did.
Well,
Well, there was always the odd bastard in there.
It's a bollocks. It's kind of a lot of bollocks, wasn't it?
Yes, I do remember whenever you made Olivia say bastards. It was quite shocking.
Olivia, yeah.
Yes.
I know, we
quite
don't
shocking.
do that very often. We made her say the F word on
It was
stage.
whenever she, I think it was the Alliance Party, and they ostracised
Oh,
Ma,
that's right.
and she was very upset. She put the phone down and called them bastards. Oh dear. But my favourite, are we allowed to say Olivia's worst swear word?
That's a brilliant story.
Well, you should maybe tell it, because we're all round for the...
The reading?
Yes, the
And
reading
we're-
for my first episode.
We're sitting...
Oh, you're going to tell us? Are you?
Yeah, why not? It's funny.
So we'd written this. So it was back in the days, and at that time we were working in the BBC. So we'd written these scripts, and we were trying to think. Oh, it was where Billy had been left by Emer, and Dympna was coming in, and I had the speech where I go.
You were moaning to Ma.
Crying.
Moaning to Ma, going, "What am I going to do? What am I going to do? What am I going to do without? What am I going to do without Emer?" Right. So I'll leave it there. And we wrote a version. And I'm going, no, we're never going to go. But we wrote it for a laugh, and we didn't. Somehow this version of the script got to
Yes.
Olivia, but our versions were probably normal. So we're sitting there reading the scripts, and there's a version with a different line in it for Ma. And we're reading it for Martin Sharlow, and I go, "What am I going to do, Ma? What am I going to do without Emer? What am I going to do?" And Olivia just reads straight through, wank.
Well, we collapsed laughing. It was so funny.
You did it.
And Sharlow was reading the different script and went, what is this?
I had the same script as Livy though, so I did wonder, was it like, were we really allowed to say that on the BBC?
But total professionals. Just
Oh,
this is what the
just
boys have written.
written, and
That's
I
it.
will perform. She was like Lady Bracknell.
Yes. And on that bombshell, about the lovely Olivia Nash, we'll leave it. Thank you very, very much, Ali
you.
Ford, for joining us on the Give My Head podcast. For anybody want to subscribe there, we're on the usual wherever you find your podcast. We are on tour next year. I think tickets are on sale for the Opera House already. Christmas special at Give Me a Headpiece. I'm on tour as well. I'm doing a one-man show called Ridiculous. Look it up online. Doing 20 gigs all over the country, so please look out for that. In the meantime, we will see you very soon on the Give My Head podcast. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, boys.
It was great.